This is WTF Nation Radio.
Stand up for the things I believe in, but I don't always do what's right. I'm the only hell my mama ever raised, but hell my mama tried. I am the last of a dying breed. There ain't many souls left like me. I'm a man of my word, that's a guarantee. I'm the last of a dying breed. Don't need much for me to get by. I don't fit in with the suit and the tie. You won't see me sitting high on a throne, so please tell the wolves that I'm finally home. I am the last of a dying breed. There ain't many souls left like me. I'm a man of my word, that's a guarantee. I'm the last of a dying breed. I'm a God-fearing man, I ain't afraid of my fate. I'm a lot like Jake, born 50 years too of a dying breed. There ain't many souls left like me. I'm a man of my word, that's a guarantee. I'm the last of a dying breed. I am the last of a dying breed. There ain't many souls left like me. I'm a man of my word, that's a guarantee. I'm the last of a dying breed.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
The horse, with beauty unsurpassed, strength immeasurable, and grace unlike any other, still remains humble enough to carry a man upon its back. When a service member or first responder takes an oath, he or she has mentally and physically committed themselves with self-sacrifice. From the front lines abroad to the very streets you live on in America, they protect. This oath is non-refundable and it is lifelong. Facing unimaginable dangers and unseen scars, these grounds are a place to recover and face any challenges head-on. As veterans and first responders ourselves, we know that battle all too well. From a simple talk with a friend on horseback to an entire debrief in the barn, this sanctuary has seen recovery take place time and time again. No hour of life is wasted that is spent in a saddle. The way we approach change isn't a new phenomenon. This animal has been with humans over 5,000 years. If you've ever been around a horse for long enough, you'll feel that thing, that electric trust. In that moment, nothing else is in your mind. When they turn into you, it's like the world disappears. We harness that moment to build skills off of. Repurposing requires flexibility, adaptability, and the willingness to challenge assumptions and conventional thinking. This approach can be applied to many areas in life, including business, education, and personal growth. To ride a horse is to fly without wings. This lesson and skills learned at war horses will help reintegrate back into daily life. You'll learn coping mechanisms, improved communication skills, trust and confidence that will help reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. These tools can be used every day to navigate life and take on many challenges. This may involve practicing mindfulness, setting boundaries, improving communication with loved ones. Transitioning back to society is hard on your own. And when you're at war horses, you're family, and families solve problems together.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
I can feel this in my ears. What is happening?
The voice of U.S. Army WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
All right, everybody, what's going on?
Hey,
I gotta press the right buttons here. Welcome to Friday Night Freedom. My name is Kaz, and that is not Pookie. We are here on the 4th day of August 2023. Oh my gosh, it's great to be here. Radar, what's up, buddy?
what's up, Kaz? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Something about this. I think you've got a problem with something.
I do.
Do you?
Oh, I have a problem with taxation because it's theft.
Taxation is theft. Okay, I'm going to write that down. You have to say that at least 3 times. I saw
at least 3. Well, there's one. I got the one. You know what other problem I have? You are way better at this because your little like bubble with the whole radar. That's awesome. That's way better than I just put TZ in a little box in the corner. So I gotta up my game. You've got cool fonts and everything. Mine's boring.
I will send you a link, man, so you can make all your stuff.
Yeah, my show's boring.
Yeah, I've got
cool,
yours
like
in blue, and then I made an identical one that's in black, and then I just kind of like made it look like a shadow.
That's really cool.
I'm all like creative and stuff.
Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, other than the taxation is theft thing, like there's two.
I was thinking maybe that you were gonna have a problem with you being in a bubble again, but
oh no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It's like it's a place. Why? It's a place of honor.
It is, and because we talked about this earlier. I just put up my new camera, and you can see like my whole basement basically in the. So the bubble helps keep it looks less cluttered.
It kind of focuses, yeah.
I look better over there, so.
I think it looks great, man. That's a really good backdrop for your show, and it's the same show. It's the same backdrop that you use for your show, which is the Smoke Pit, which everyone can watch on Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
So tell us about the Smoke Pit. I mean, there may or may not be people here that don't tune into any other show. So
well, they should.
They should.
All of our shows are good. I will say that. I think we've gotten to a point where we have shows every night but Saturdays, and I think all of them are good.
Every show is
really
awesome.
I think
there is something in our family for everybody.
Yeah. Absolutely. My show is just kind of more. Mine's very off the cuff. It's very organic, I think is the appropriate term for it. We don't really have, like, you sent me like a list of things we talk about. I don't do that with TZ. We just strap in and go, man. We go where the smoke pit takes us, and it's kind of fun. And
I always pictured you as an orderly person, or maybe someone who appreciates lists or something.
I do. I have my lists. I have my lists over here, but I really, it's we kind of tried that. I remember when I first started doing this, and Minx, I started with Minx, and she had that list. She had an actual show notes, and then CQ did that, and he had everything. He had like 6 hours worth of show notes. I'm like, we're not going to get through all this. And it always felt like we were rushing through things. And I think that, with TZ and I, we've done a really good job of, and it keeps the audience involved too. So if you've got stuff you want to hang out and give us your 2 cents, we really appreciate that. And we talk about everything. Do we talk about, like, I don't know, getting drunk in the river to VA claims and everything in the middle, and some of our stuff's real serious and some of it's not, but it's all fun. And I think that we I think we have a ton of fun on it. I really enjoy it. So, I mean, we get the same paycheck, so I must enjoy it enough to keep doing it.
I do enjoy your show, and it is a smoke pit. It's a smoke pit conversation. I mean, because those conversations can be either really serious and down to earth, or they can just be way off in the weeds somewhere.
Right. And we have people that come in, and some guys need to. Some guys and gals both, and need some reassurance or some help navigating whatever they're going through. And like I said, we've talked about everything from MST and PTSD issues and struggles, all the way to, would you rather, I think one of them was like, would you rather suck one dick 10 times or 10 dicks one time?
Jesus.
You know what I mean? Like we run the gambit. So. But yeah, but I mean, it's fun, and we try to keep it fun for everybody. And I think that, we don't talk about taxes though, because taxation is theft.
That's 3.
I got my 3 in the first 5 minutes. So,
outstanding. In the first segment, even.
Yeah. But yeah, well, Holly said it too. Holly reminded me that we had that. So, as far as I know, Minx is doing well, Heath. I don't know. I see her on Facebook pop up from time to time. She seems to be doing fine. So
yeah, she was on. She used to be on like every day, and then she's doing the education thing, and she's getting smarter every day. So she's got other adult responsibilities to take care of, but she is doing well.
Yep, which is part of the reason she left the station. She didn't leave under bad terms.
Yeah, she didn't get fired. She wasn't like fuck you guys or nothing like that.
She's like I have a family, and I have stuff I need to have that needs to happen in my life, and I need to better myself, and I don't have time for this. And I miss Minx too. She was great. So.
But here we are, and since we were talking about the show lineup, we do have shows 6 nights a week. The next show is going to be on Sunday, and that's the Sports Bar, which is followed by the Monday edition on Monday, Pop Culture Warrior on Tuesday, the Smoke Pit with Radar and TZ on Wednesday, Sergeant's Time on Thursday, and then we're back on Fridays with Friday Night Freedom. See, I'm a little bit different than the other shows because of my work schedule. It keeps me away a lot. I don't usually get home until after the start of showtime, so I'm doing every other week. I get every other Friday off, and I'm using my Friday off to be here. I have things that I need to do, and Friday's the only real day. Fridays and Sundays really are the only days that I have off to do things, and so I need to take advantage of that day.
Well, and you've been busy, not just you've been busy in all aspects of your life, right? Haven't you had a bunch of other stuff happen? Like you're like what? Like you just got like a lot of things. Like, and it's great that you can dedicate some time to the station. Like,
I got a promotion at work. My life is nothing but work.
Yeah.
Ever since my kids have moved out of the house. They're grown. They're out of the house. I don't have any pets. All I have is just me and my job and my house. So I take care of my house and I go to work so I can support my habit of refurbing my house. So that's it's cheaper than a drug habit, dude.
I've been missing half my siding for like a year now, so don't even. It's in bunks in my yard, so I need to go out and I put on like 4 or 5 pieces a weekend because then it gets hot or I'm busy. I don't have time for that.
Oh, dude! So. Today, it's been hot. It has been hot. That there's no two ways about it. Today I was outside. And I went outside. Have you ever gotten in the middle of something and then you go, okay, since I'm out here, I'm going to do this other thing. This was my mission over here. Mm-hmm. But then you kind of get distracted and you're like, no, but I need to take care of this thing over here. So I go to take care of that thing over there. In the back of my house, there's an alley, and that's where my garage is. That's where everyone's garage is. We're all out, our garages are on the back side of our house. So you drive down this alleyway. Well, there's this no man's land from the alleyway to the fence that separates you and then the people behind the house. And I keep mine trimmed. Mm-hmm. Some of the folks that live here don't. And they don't have to. It's like no man's land. It's not their property. It's not like a utility easement. So the city doesn't take care of it. And it's not your backyard's neighbor's job to take care of that. So sometimes that stuff gets overgrown. So I've been turning down the alley, and then all of a sudden, like the branches and crap that are growing from these trees are like hitting my car.
Yep.
I'm like, man, I'm gonna trim that. I'm just gonna break my chainsaw out, and I'm gonna fucking trim that. So today was that day.
Yep.
But I had to wait. Until it was 107 freaking degrees outside before I got the motivation to do this.
Right.
So, and I started with just a couple of branches, and then a couple of branches led to a couple of other branches. So I started just going to town, just ripping everything down. So all these things branches are falling down, and I'm dragging them off to the curb. And I didn't just pile them in this dude's yard. I took him to the curb where when we have our bulk trash pickup or whatever, it'll get picked up. So I didn't leave him with any work to do. He just has to deal with a big pile of branches in his yard. I measured the damn thing. It's 14 feet long, it's 5 feet high, and it's 10 feet wide.
Wow.
That's how many branches I trimmed. That's a trimming, the trimming of the branches. The only reason I stopped is there was this big plastic that looks like one of those things you put on top of your car, you put crap in, and you strap it.
Yep.
And it was leaning up against, it was in between like the tree and then the fence. And I'm cutting down I'm cutting branches around it. Branches had grown like around it and stuff. So I got the branches all busted loose, and I'm like, I'm going to take this thing out. Dude, I moved that thing. I grabbed it with my fingers, and you can tell it had been there for a long time because the plastic was just starting to break off.
Oh, yeah. It's like real brittle, sun-baked kind of.
Yeah. And I threw it into the alley, and then I went back to work, and then I look behind me, and there's this cloud of insects flying around. Come to realize there was a wasp nest inside of it.
Oof.
And these aren't like the mud daubers. These aren't the little paper wasps. These are the asshole wasps.
Yep.
So I got I got tagged on the finger, but I was wearing gloves, which is a good thing. So nothing bad. It's like the tip of the stinger went in there. But I went back to my house because this is all the way down at the entrance of the alley.
Right.
So I went into my garage. I changed the battery on I had a pole saw at that time. So I changed the battery in that. And then I walked back out and I looked, and there's still this cloud of wasps over this white thing because I just fucked their house up. So I went back inside, and then I went back out there, and I tried to kick it because I'm like, dude, I can kick this thing, and I can it'll land right on the pile of brush that I just cut down. So I go dunk. I take this running start to kick it, and my foot went through the plastic, got stuck inside. I pulled it out. The fucking wasps are flying around again. I'm like, man, this is not a good day. Ran back to my house. Went inside. I was overheated, so I kind of, heart's pounding. I'm sweating, man. I'm sweating really bad. So I drank a Gatorade. I drank like 2 bottles of water. I laid down on the couch, put an ice pack behind my neck just to cool my blood down. Went back out there, and then I yeeted that fucking thing with a broom. I just walked out there because they had calmed down, so I just yeeted it, whoop, used it like a hockey stick.
Yeah.
Landed right in the wood pile. So I'm like, cool. So I'm done. I'm done until probably next year.
Our wasps usually burrow in the ground, and my part of my job is cutting trees down, right?
Okay.
On the woods. And so we're out there with our saws, and we got the big steel 461s. They're big saws. And we're cutting these big old rotten trees down. And one of the guys was like just doing that, swatting all over the place. And I go over like, what's wrong, dude? He's like, bees. And then that's the first one stung me then. And so we both had our saws idling, right? And they shake pretty good because they're the big saws. And we both just drop them and take off running. Well, those saws just idling just piss those bees off even more. Yeah,
that vibration.
So we had to wait like an hour for them to run out of gas so we can go over and pick them up off the ground. But yeah, that was oof. But those little things you're talking about, the little, I don't even know, are they like a trunk? Where are they? I don't know what they called, but
I don't know what they're called. They're just like, it's like luggage for the top of your vehicle.
Here, everyone with a Subaru has one on the road.
Yes. Yeah. You actually have to have it. Subaru. The law is you have to have either a ski rack or a luggage rack.
Yeah, or a bike rack.
Or a bike rack.
Yeah. So that's what we have on. Well, we take it off because we have a Subaru, but my wife does. So, but
yeah, my wife had an Outback, and that was probably the most fun car that I've owned. It's a really fun car to drive.
We have a Crosstrek, so it's like
is that the hybrid one or is that the?
No, it's like the Impreza with a lift kit, basically. Yeah. So
they're fun, and that's like it's like the Outback.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and we haul the bikes around with it and stuff. Actually, I lie. We have a bike rack for it, but I usually try to throw them in the pickup so I look less douchey driving on. When we show up at the trail, and I got a pickup instead of a Subaru like everyone else does. So
see, if you drive a pickup, that just means you like the outdoors. If you drive a Subaru and you're doing outdoorsy thing, that means that you're a granola eating environmentalist, possibly closet lesbian. I don't know.
I know. I have to be careful with my wife because she'll throw some Keen hiking boots on and hop in the Subaru to go hiking, and I'm just like, hey. And all the girls
are gonna hit on you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, but just don't wear a flannel. We'll be fine.
Leave your chewing tobacco at home.
Oh.
So I talked about what did I talk about? I didn't talk about shit. Oh, I talked about the shows that we have lined up for the week, and everyone saw that we got shows 6 nights a week. A super secret that if you're not a follower of the sports bar, it is the actual King Smith's birthday today.
Yes.
So if you want to catch his show on Sunday, you can all wish him a very, very happy birthday. Anyway, we don't have anything
about a fantasy football league.
I tried doing fantasy football, and I tried to do the DraftKings stuff, and I suck really, really bad at that. So I just stopped. I put like $20 in, and I'm trying to pick players and teams and scores and stuff, and it just doesn't. I don't do that. Earl, damn it, Veteran Trash Talk. They do a show on Friday nights, and it's all sport betting talk.
Oh,
and I try to listen to them and like rewatch their shows and try to learn something, but they need to break it down. Someone needs to break it down Barney style when you're talking about like odds and this, different things. I just don't get it.
We not too far from me about actually my wife works up there. It's a casino town called Deadwood, and they brought in sports betting, and I know nothing about it whatsoever, and she's trying to explain it to me. I don't know like anything about it. So but the fantasy football stuff, I just guess. I don't know shit about it. I don't know. The names I recognize is who I try to get.
Well, the thing is with fantasy football, it's different than in your office pool. You actually play the player. You don't necessarily play the team.
Yeah.
So you're doing with individual stats, how they perform that week, and then that's the amount of points that you get. I used to play the office pool for football, and I only won it 1 year. And the only reason I did that is I cheated my ass off. It's not cheating. Before our scores were due, or our picks were due, I would go to a Vegas website and just see what the line is on every one of the games.
Yep.
And that's how I'd pick. And I ended up winning at the end of the year with the most total wins.
I mean, that feels like that's not really cheating. It'd be different if you went in afterwards and like switch your things around. That'd be cheating.
That would be cheating. This is just doing a little bit more homework.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with doing some homework. And like I said, I wish I was better at that stuff. I wish I was better at betting that.
I'm glad that I'm not good at it because I don't do it. That means I don't lose money. I don't win money, but I don't lose money either.
Yeah.
There's people that get in a really bad way betting and thinking they got a sure thing, and they put $1,000 that they can't afford, and then they ended up losing, or they end up owing people money. I just don't want to be in that position.
No, or like running their credit. We went to Colorado and we stayed there. We stayed at there's big casinos there just outside of Denver in a town called Blackhawk. And we went, and I don't know, my wife and I each pulled out like $100 from the ATM or something like that. When we go to the ATM, you can just put your credit card in there and buy a ticket for up to like $10,000. And I'm like, that sounds like a horrible idea.
Yeah.
But obviously people do it if they're, yeah, and in Deadwood, a lot of the stuff like blackjack and craps and all that is all a $5 minimum bet. So you can play blackjack for a while on $100, you know. There it's like $25 or $50 minimum hands, and I'm like, nope, I'm good. We played some penny slots, waiting for our table to open up in the buffet, and then went and had dinner and went back to our room. But yeah, it's crazy how much money people can actually spend on that and do spend on it. So here we have a lot of tourists that kind of come in. Well, like this week starts the motorcycle rally with a big motorcycle rally in Sturgis, and we have people come in. There's all different kinds of events throughout the summer, concert series and all that stuff come through, rodeos, whatnot. But yeah, it's a whole lot easier to drop $100 on a weekend. You know, we go up there, you can play for an hour or so on $100, have a good night, get a couple free beers from the pretty cocktail waitress and leave. You know, I just couldn't imagine dropping tens of thousands of dollars on.
And then having to explain why did you lose 10 grand?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw this $10,000 withdrawal on the fucking debit card. What's that about? And I'm not saying that people are nefarious or trying to hide shit, but that sucks, dude. I would be devastated if I lost that much
I would
money.
have to hide that. My wife would.
You can't. You can't hide that.
No, you can't.
And even if it's you and your wife, split bills or whatever, you cover the mortgage, she covers the cell phones, stuff like that. It's like, hey, why didn't you make the mortgage payment? Well, there's a funny story.
Well, I got a credit card I could probably put 10 grand on, but that would not be a.
Yeah, with your minimum payment of $300 a month.
Yeah, she wouldn't know, but she'd sure figure it out after a while, I think.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't have that desire. I've never had, I enjoy it when we go up there. I usually go up there when I have buddies in town. I'll have a buddy of mine that I was in Iraq with will come into town, or someone will show up, and it's like, hey, we'll go up there, we'll have dinner, throw a couple $100 in or something. Like, so my wife works up there, so it's kind of, I let her bring back, she makes, as a dealer, she's making like 30, 40, $50 an hour. Depends on tips. So, if you do gamble, make sure you tip the dealers and the cocktail waitresses. Most of them make peanuts, and the majority of their money is off tips. So if you're winning, be sure to tip people.
Well, it's probably like any service industry. I mean, a dealer where you have to actually, I think you have to be certified. You have to go.
Yep.
You have to be educated to be a dealer. But
and there's like, for her, she had to do like craps training. Like they have a citywide certification process, and then the place she works at, she had to do additional training.
I guess you would have to know.
Yep.
Throwing dice, what the combos mean, and
yep, and there's a lot of math and a lot of different bets on the table. I think there's like 100 some different ways to bet each throw. So
I figure 2 6-sided dice, and then you have a table full of options. You do the math.
Yup. And then she does, but she gets $9 an hour plus tips. So there's some nights she makes $50-$60 an hour. There's other nights she makes $2.
That's crazy.
So those $2 an hour nights, she's like, but yeah. So it's a good time though. They have fun. She really enjoys her job, and it's mentally challenging to her, and I think that's why she likes it.
It keeps your brain loose too. Absolutely. I remember like when I threw darts, I used to throw darts competitively. I could whether it was 301 or 501 or 801, I would be able to do all of that math in my head like right now.
Yep.
Just because I did it all the time. And I was really, really good at it. And now I'd have to work at it. It would take me a little bit longer. But yeah, man, that's just, you got to use your mind, or else you got to use what you got, or else it's not going to be there.
Or it goes away.
Or it goes away, or it's like, it's like if you sit around and watch TV or play Xbox all day, you're going to get fat and lazy, and you're going to lose your flexibility. Maintain some of that neural flexibility. Anyway, we were talking about the show lineup, which we have shows 6 nights a week, but we also we don't have any guests this week. But we do have 2 events that are happening. Whoops. Kids are going back to school.
Oh, no.
I meant to mention this earlier. This slide right here is just called 9. So I don't have any notes on it. But yeah. This week we also have kids are going back to school. So watch out for the school buses and stuff. Anyway, this is the slide that I wanted. We do have 2 events that are happening, and both of these are happening tomorrow. The Rooster Rally on the River is happening tomorrow. That's Denny Katana's thing. He's got it going on. It's going to be in San Marcos, in the San Marcos area, and San Marcos is located between San Antonio and Austin. And it's not on the. I don't like the San Marcos River. I like the Guadalupe River, because the Guadalupe River is fed right from Canyon Lake, from the bottom of Canyon Lake, and that water is so freaking cold, and it feels good when it's 107 degrees outside. But anyway, the Rooster Rally on the river is happening in San Marcos, and that's happening tomorrow. And we also have the Back to the Heroes Rumble car show. That's going to be in the Cincinnati area. It's in Batavia, which is located east of the city on the outside of Loop 275. So you just look up Back to the Heroes Rumble, and that will give you, if you're in the area, stop by, check out the cars, say hi to Carl. Carl's always here. I think he's the most returning guest on WTF Nation Radio.
Well, and I think we have some of our staff is going to be at each of those, right? I think.
Yes, yeah. I think Spanky's going to be on the river, and I think Mom is going to be at the car show.
Yep. So if you're in the area and you want to see what they look like in real life, you go up and say hi and shake their hand and be creepy, or don't be creepy. Please don't be creepy. But I think TZ is going to the river thing too. So.
Yes, yeah. I mean, she lives right there. She's in just a little bit away.
Yep.
I don't want to give her fucking coordinates away and shit, but she could. Yeah, it's probably as close as Walmart is to my house. So
right. So yeah, so that'd be good. That'll be fun for everybody to kind of, especially the river thing. I don't, as hot as it's got to be down there, I can't imagine. I haven't lived in Texas since 2004.
It was hot then. It's hot now.
Yep.
It's hot in the summer, and everyone bitches about it like, this is the hottest summer ever. But on the news today, they had like a breakdown of the top, the consecutive 100 degree days, and we're not even close.
No.
It seems like it's been forever just because it's been 100. It got 100 degrees earlier than usual, but we're not even close to even setting records.
We had 100 some days, I thought, when I was there in was that 03?
We had, right about then. We did have it was a running count. It was like rainless 100+ degree days, and it was more than 100 days consecutively.
The thing I remember when I first got there, because I'm from up here. I'm from up north, where even like today. Well, today was rainy. We're not going to count today. Yesterday it was a high of like 97, 98 degrees, but then at night it still gets down to like 50. 60 degrees.
That's so good. That's
so
perfect.
you get that relief. You can turn your air conditioner off, open your windows up, air your house out, whatever. And I remember I got stationed there at Fort Worth, and we went down. A couple of buddies were like, hey, let's go down the stockyards and get drunk. So I said, okay, cool. So I went down there, got drunk, left the bar at like 2 a.m, and it was still 100 degrees out. I was like, whoa, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, let me check right now. It is right now. My weather app on my computer says it's still 104 degrees right now.
Yeah. We don't do that here.
and I get so jealous. I get weather alerts on my phone just because my kids live in Montana. So I get weather alerts on my phone. It says a thunderstorm is incoming. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. So I pull up my phone and I'm like, oh, it's Montana. Never mind.
Yep.
They've had such a favorable, and my parents live up in Wisconsin, and they're having such, that half of the United States is having such a favorable summer right now. Yep. It's crazy.
We've actually been really wet here, which has been really odd for us, because usually we're right on that edge of like the Great Western Desert, so we're usually brown by the 4th of July. Usually don't have to mow after 4th of July, and it just keeps raining and raining and raining. And
that helps with wildfires that usually come about this time of year, which is it's great that you guys are wet.
Yep. And I think it's wet all the way through Montana and into Washington and Idaho, and so that's awesome. Now, if Canada could fuck off, that'd be fine.
So Canada's still got the fires going on, right?
Yep. And every now and again, the wind will come out of the north, and it's just
choke.
Yep. I mean, and it gets visibility down less than half a mile, and you go outside and you can still you taste it. So,
and it's really bad. I mean, because those are particulates, and you're breathing that, and that's going into your lungs and your eyes and in your your ventilation for your house and in your kids' lungs and stuff. So that's not good. It isn't good.
Yeah. So we play that game, unfortunately, up here. But I mean, I like most 80s and 90s kids, we grew up with like the Marlboro Miles.
Yeah,
so we had as much smoke as we inhaled when we were kids is probably nothing.
It's fine for you.
Yeah,
I
smoked for like 20 years. I actually quit like 3-4 years ago. So
I quit on my birthday in the middle of Iraq.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oof, I'm not sure I'm gonna quit in Iraq.
It was 2011. I just it's my birthday. I'm like, fuck, I'm done smoking. And I had ordered a vape online because that's when they first started coming out, 2010, 2011.
Yep.
And that helped me get over that hump.
Really?
And
that's good.
That's the greatest thing ever.
See, I quit in 20. I quit in March of 20. And they changed it. I was driving snowplow at the time, and they changed the rule at work where you couldn't smoke in the vehicles anymore, which is probably about 10 years after everyone else did.
Right.
But because basically we all smoked, and we got a new commissioner, and he's like, nope, no smoking in the trucks. Okay. And I was stopped on my break, and I was smoking a cigarette sitting on the fuel tank while everyone else is like sitting in the air conditioning in their trucks. Like, this is fucking dumb. I'm done with this. And South Dakota has like a quit line. You call them, they send you some drugs. They call you on the phone for a couple times and send you some patches. They gave me some patches and some pills. I took the pills like, I don't know, a week. I took the patches for like 3 days, and I just quit. I said, I'm done. And the night before I quit, my wife, I smoked a whole pack of cigarettes the day before I quit. My wife's like, there's no way you're going to quit. And I just put them down, and I haven't touched them since. So,
yeah, the only time I get the vape out is like when if I've been drinking. I guess that would probably be like the hardest point for me. I've never been enticed to go back to an analog cigarette.
No,
but if I've been drinking or something, I'll do the vape thing. But I'm not gonna light up another cigarette again. That's just, it's nasty. I don't like it. I don't like the way that it made me smell.
Yep.
My car smelled. Everything that I touched smelled. So
I didn't notice it until afterwards.
Exactly. I can be sitting at a stoplight and I can smell if someone's smoking in any of the cars around. It's just, I just don't like it.
I'm not that dude. Some people like turn into like the biggest, and I think drinkers do this too. When people quit drinking, they turn into the biggest, you got to stop. You got to stop drinking. No. You got to try. Yeah. And I'm not like that. Like, if you smoke or whatever, that's fine. My wife still smokes. I don't even care. Like, it's whatever. It doesn't entice me. I do, but I notice it on her, like, when she walks by or whatever. And I always thought I was being like coy about it. Like, oh, I smoked my window down, or I did.
Or I don't smoke in the house. I just go outside in the backyard and I smoke.
Yep. And that's what we do too. Or in the wintertime, my wife smokes in the garage. We have a big attached garage, but we have a big heater out there and exhaust fan, because I have like a welding setup out there. So the big exhaust, figure if it'll suck exhaust fumes from my welder out, it'll suck the cigarette smoke out. So it doesn't come in the house. But yeah, she it's yeah, and my truck, I actually paid and had it like professionally detailed or whatever, and I can still smell it in there.
And they do the ozone treatment where they just nuke it. Yep. Where you cannot survive if you're in it, and it's supposed to clear all that shit out. And it might work for a couple of days, but then that just starts coming back out. It does. Yep. It works its way out.
Yep. And I have a black pickup, so you put it outside on a 90-degree day, it just sucks all that right back out.
Yeah.
So, but it's whatever. Get you a good old can of Skull. You know what? I've never chewed. I take that back. I did like a long time ago.
Yeah, I've never dipped. I tried it. I thought it was nasty, so I never did it again.
Yep. So, the only time we did was in Iraq when we couldn't smoke in the trucks. I didn't really care for it. But
yeah, there was all these rules when I was over there. I was a civilian contractor over there, so there was all these rules like don't smoke in the vehicles. We're like, okay, and we'd smoke in the vehicles. It was you would have a van, like a 16-person van. Going like to the DFAC or something, everybody in there be just fucking blazing up, and a big old sticker on the dashboard with a big no smoking thing on it.
Yeah,
the driver's like putting his fucking cigarette out on it.
Oh, we would swap gunner seats. We'd let, especially if we're sitting
cool.
or something. We're like, all right, hop in the gunner turret. You can smoke a cigarette. I'll sit down here for a little bit.
That's cool.
Yeah. kind of got to the point that we just stand outside the trucks. We didn't even care. Get about 3/4 of the way through the tour, and you're just ready to like, well, maybe if I get blowed up, I can go home.
No, it's like an early out. He says put a cup of vinegar in your cup holder for a day. It'll get out most of the smells.
Well, then it'll smell like vinegar.
But then you got to smell like vinegar, right?
Yeah.
I hate the smell of vinegar. That's why I hate cleaning my coffee maker and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Every couple of months, I'm like, fuck, I'll do it outside. That's how much I hate the smell of vinegar. I'll do it outside. Yeah. I'll plug it in outside and do the vinegar douche or whatever on the coffee maker. But I won't do that in the house.
I think vinegar is supposed to kill wasps and hornets, isn't it?
I've got wasp spray. If I don't have wasp spray, I'll use WD-40.
Well, because you kind of left a wasp bomb for the next guy to come pick up.
Well, yeah, I kind of did, didn't I? Shit, I'm gonna kill my neighbor or whoever comes and picks that up. And then I thought about that. Imagine having like a lineman job or something like that, or some kind of job outside where you have to deal with every once in a while you're going to come into contact with hornets and wasps and stuff, or fire ants and whatever.
That's true.
I kind of felt bad for about that long.
Yeah.
It's not my problem anymore. So you have a Subaru. You just bought that guy, didn't you?
About a year ago. Yep. Yeah. Year ago, April 1st, actually. That was a chore. Because about a year ago...
It was good because they didn't have the one you wanted.
Yep. They didn't have the one I wanted. I ordered one. I ordered a blue one, and I got the... it's called Plasma Yellow. But it's actually like booger green. It's pretty bad. But I love it. Because I can see it. When you go to Walmart and you get out of the car and everyone's got like the same blue. Like I drive a Volkswagen Passat every day, and I drive a blue Volkswagen. So I get out. You leave Walmart and there's 1,000 blue Volkswagens, but there's only one baby shit green Subaru in the parking lot.
That's my baby.
Yeah, but it was the same package and everything. It was the same level. It was, we got the sport, so it's got the leather seats and the eyesight
heaters.
And all that stuff.
You got the heaters on the seat, right? Yeah.
Yep. And then it has the app, so I can remote start my car from anywhere.
That is the greatest thing ever, isn't it?
Yep, it's awesome, and you can
I use it every.
On
I use it every day. I use it every day when about 15 minutes before I leave work. Remote start the car, the AC kicks on.
Yep.
Because
I think you can set it to automatically do it, can't you? Can't you set it up to be like, okay, if I leave at work at 4:30 every day, I want my car to turn at 4:15.
I don't leave work at the same time every day, so okay. I can't. I don't have a pattern. Sometimes I'll leave earlier, sometimes it'll be later, sometimes it'll be later than usual. So I can't do the typical.
Yeah, you don't have like a get out time. I'm the same way. Sometimes I get out at like noon, and sometimes I get out at like fucking 18:30. So it doesn't. The one thing I found, I didn't think I'd like it, and I actually used to turn it off, and now I quit, is the eyesight. Do you ever use that?
I don't know what that is. Tell me about it.
It's got these two little cameras by the rearview mirror, and it triangulates the vehicle in front of you. And then it matches the speed. So say you have your cruise set at 75.
Oh, yes.
And the vehicle in front of you.
Adaptive cruise control.
I don't use... Go ahead. But it does more than that. Like, say I'm driving and I have my cruise set and a deer jumps out, it'll slam on the brakes automatically. If the car in front of you, like you can leave it on, and it will actually, if you go like exit the freeway, it will control your speed all the way to a stop. And it has, like, with those cameras, it has lane assist too. So you can just push the button. The only reason that car can't drive itself completely is it takes input on the steering wheel.
It does. And it gets really pissed off if you don't have input on the steering wheel.
Yep, but it does all the things for you. So it's great. I love that eyesight thing. I didn't think I was going to like it at first because it beeps all the time. And I'm just like, it's a lane departure. Like every time there's construction, it's like lane departure. I'm like, no, I'm actually in my lane. Thanks for that, though. So... But yeah, it's great. I love it, especially going through traffic and stuff. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, I don't use cruise control unless I'm driving a long distance. I won't use cruise control. You're in the middle of nowhere, right. So I guess the cruise control makes sense. I don't use it at all just because most of the time I'm on the interstate doing 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
In the afternoon on the way home. The way to work is great. It's like 80, 85. Way home, I might hit 20 miles an hour.
Right.
Traffic sucks here.
And there's no way around it.
No.
Right?
No, I don't have any alternate routes between work and home.
Yep.
So anyway, the reason I was asking about your new car, you probably have the new is one of the benefits of owning that new car. You get like 2 years of oil changes and this, that, and the other.
Yep.
See, I ran out of that, so I've been paying for my oil changes and tire rotations.
Yeah.
So it was about 6 months ago, I had my last oil change and tire rotation, and it cost me, it was like $94.
Wow.
Right. And I was like, okay, I get it. But this is the manufacturer. I go to the Ford place to get it done. But I did it again today, and I'm never going back there again. I love you, Ford. I love my car. I drive it's a 2000 and it's a 19 Fusion. It's a hybrid. It's awesome. It's a great car. I love the car. Nothing wrong with the car. I'm very, very happy with it. I'm a happy customer. But today I had tire rotation and an oil change, conventional, mix. It was a blend with a synthetic blend, $134.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's all he did was rotate my tires and change the oil. And it took almost 2 hours. It was like an hour and 47 minutes. From the time that I checked in to the time that I got the receipt to check out.
And that's at the dealer?
At the dealer. At the dealer that I bought the car.
Yeah.
So I'm going to Joe Snuffy's tire change and tire rotation, or I can go and pay for a tire rotation at Discount Tire or some shit like that.
Yep. So for me, the dealer's about an hour away. And it takes forever to get into the dealer.
Yeah.
So we got in, we went to Colorado, and the wheel bearing started going out on the way back. We've got like 20,000 miles on the car, which is a lot for a year. I'll give it that, but 20,000 miles, you should have a wheel bearing going out. So I called him not very happy about it. And I was like, hey, we've got, this is kind of fucked. And the guy's like, hey, we can get it in. And it was like 10 or 15 days later. I was like, Jesus, really?
So you're going to drive with a bad bearing.
No, well, we parked it. Parked it because I took my pickup and my wife took my car, but it was just ridiculous. And then so for us, for the oil changes, we got like, I think it was 10 free, and we've only used 2. So we just go to the little joint. There's one here in town. It's like, and same deal like you're talking about, because we went to the Chevy dealer here in town just to get one done, because the little mom and pop place is closed on like Sundays and Mondays. And we're getting ready to go out of town for a soccer tournament that Monday. So my wife took it to the Chevy dealer because they would happen to be open. And they wanted, like, I think we ended up paying about that 110 something, because it's synthetic, obviously. But the little mom and pop place charges like $65 for oil change.
Shit.
So that's not it. But they don't do the tire rotation. But we get ours rotated every other oil change. So there's a place here called Great Western Tire, and they're just, I don't know, Goodyear dealer. They do the oil change, and they usually send a coupon in the paper, on the Sunday paper, and it's like $99 for an oil change and a synthetic oil change, and then the tire rotation.
That's a good deal.
That's not bad, and it's a local place. They've got like 5 stores. Like 2 are in Rapid City, 1 here, 1 in, it's kind of spread out. But so, yeah, I'd rather give the local place some business anyway. But yeah, and cars, Ford is just going crazy on that. Like, they don't even make cars anymore. And then all of their trucks are like $100,000.
Yeah, I'm not very happy with that. And I think they're gonna figure it out. They're going to figure it out because the Ford Fusion, doesn't matter if it's a hybrid or it's all gas. That's a great car. The Focus is a great car.
Yep.
And the Taurus is a great car, but they're giving up on all of that. They're going with their electric Mustang. They're going to stick with the F-150 and all the other things that they have. And I don't think that's going to play out very well.
I medium wanted one of those Mavericks. I actually really wanted one when they first came out. The little Ford,
they're pretty cool.
Pickup. Yeah,
they are pretty cool, and everyone that has one has said that they like it a lot.
Yep. What I don't like is the fact that they were like $22,000 to $30,000, and they're going used for like 40. I'm not playing that game.
No.
I'm also not the dealership here. They had a couple in stock, and like the sticker was like 32,000 on it, and they were
what's
trying
the
to sell
markup?
They were marking it up like 15 grand, and I was like, no,
Same with
sorry,
the
I don't want
Bronco.
one.
Same with the Bronco. The Bronco's the same thing. You can see a sticker price of $40,000 on a Bronco, but you're going to be paying $90,000 for that vehicle.
Yep, and they were doing that with people that ordered them. So people would order them. You're supposed to get it for MSRP when you order it, right? They wait a year and a half to get this truck, and then they're like, "Oh no, well there's like this dealer access fee of like $5,000." No,
No, it's a service charge. It's not a tax. It's not a. it's
yep, and they're marking
taxation
these
stuff.
truck up. But I mean, even just like the regular F-150s, I was looking because I was mildly thinking about trading my truck in, and I wanted just a half-ton F-150 to drive to and from work. 4-wheel drive, just kind of, and you couldn't touch one for under 60. That was like an XLT was like 62,000. And then if you wanted a King Ranch or a Platinum or whatever, they wanted 100 grand. I don't want $1,000 a month truck payment.
Dude, houses cost that much.
Yeah, it's $1,000 a month for 84 months. I was like, no, I'm good. Oh, we sell used Broncos every day, 20% over MSRP. Wow,
That's nuts, dude.
that's crazy. He said they use Firestone. They service between 10 and 30 cars per week. What are they charging you guys, though, Heath, for those? Because that's got to be, you must get a pretty good discount doing that many.
Yeah, if you're going to give them volume, they're gonna throw you some cheddar.
But yeah, they just, whew. Yeah. And when I kind of wanted, I have a big camper, so I know the EcoBoost tow is like about what my old F-250 pulls, but the new ones are, poof, you can't even get one hardly. And if you get one, they're expensive as shit. No, good. I'll keep my old truck. I can put a whole new engine in that truck for a tenth of the cost of what it cost me to get a new pickup. I'm good.
Hey, so you were talking about like soccer just a second ago, and I thought that was a really great caveat because I wanted to talk about all the crap that's happening in Dallas. Dallas has been just like pretty badass for just stuff going on. It's like their entertainment, the entertainment that's coming to the Dallas-Fort Worth area is awesome. Yes. It's really, really awesome. So I've talked way too long about the Taylor Swift weekend, which was really, really awesome. I didn't go see it, but I appreciate her fucking hustle. Right. She's absolutely killing it on the Eras Tour. She's about to wrap it up in the United States, and she's going to dip down into Mexico and then go into South America toward the end of this month. But this weekend here, we have FC Dallas taking on Inter Miami CF.
So you can see Messi.
Yeah. It's kind of a big deal because Lionel Messi plays for Miami, and everybody loves Leo. Mm-hmm. Tickets went on sale Wednesday, and they sold out the entire stadium in 15 minutes. Yep. And they kept price caps for that sale. Like 90% of the tickets were $199 or less.
Wow. Still.
So now, if you want a ticket for that game, and you go to StubHub, you're going to be paying from $600 on the low end to $13,000 on the high end.
Wow.
I'm not a soccer guy, but I know who Messi is, and I know he makes people want to watch soccer. Mm-hmm. He's that good. And another attraction this weekend is Post Malone. Post Malone is playing, and everybody seems to love him too. Honestly, I don't think I've ever heard his music. But the tickets for his show are anywhere from $300 to about $1,000 for a general ticket. I just heard he's just a cool dude. He's like a 26-year-old kid.
Yep, I've heard he's really cool.
He's just a down to earth dude, and he's a good dad. I mean, he's a recent father, and he's just.
Well, he's one of those guys this is judging a book by his cover kind of thing. He looks a little odd, a little off, but
he's got the I've been to prison look.
Yeah. What's that guy, Jelly Roll or something like that?
Jelly Roll is awesome, dude. I love Jelly Roll. Dude.
Yeah,
he has been to prison, and he's a great dude. I've never met the man, but I do like his music.
He came through Deadwood.
No shit.
Big and Rich owned one of the casinos there in town, and he was like kind of partying with them or whatever. And yeah, super cool dude, super nice. Just didn't even if he didn't look the way he did, You wouldn't even know who he was. You know what I mean? Just super cool, super friendly, taking selfies with people.
I
Great
heard
guy.
the thing is, I heard his music and I liked his music. And I'm like, okay, let me check out some of his videos. And I'm like, oh, that's what that motherfucker looks like. That's like totally unassuming. Like, no, I never in a million years would have pictured that's what Jelly Roll looks like.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, so where does FC Dallas play?
Out of Frisco, Texas.
Okay.
This which is north of Dallas.
I just was kind of curious, like what stadium they were playing in, because somewhere
There's
when
a
played-
petition online to get them to play at AT&T Stadium because it's fucking hot as hell.
Yeah,
It's an
Plus
outside,
expensive.
it's an outside venue.
I bet they could get more tickets sold if they sold it in there too.
AT&T
They probably
Stadium
fill the
can
place
seat if the seats are properly installed during when AT&T Stadium was first built. Jerry Jones had like the most possible seats that he could put in the stadium, and I think it was like 102,000. They filled the stadium, so it set a record at that time. And then OSHA or whoever controls this shit says, you can't do that. And he's like, oh, my bad. So they ended up taking like 20 or 30,000 seats out.
But still, even if it's 60,000 seats, I wonder if Messi could fill all those, especially somewhere like Dallas. And with and the Metroplex there's a lot of people. There's a lot of Hispanics that just absolutely adore soccer
Yeah.
and adore Lionel Messi too.
Football.
Yeah, that'd be fun to watch. I actually talk
Well,
about
you
sports
got,
betting.
because your kids play soccer, so they probably
My
have
kids
this either love-hate thing with Messi, though.
It's so funny because my son is a huge Messi fan, and then my daughter is a Cristiano Ronaldo fan.
There you go.
Yep. So
I
she's
saw
got
a
like
picture.
CR7 shoes and yep.
I saw a picture of a bunch of kids in Argentina wearing Messi jerseys, and it says, in the land of Messi's, be a Ronaldo. And there was one kid in that classroom that had a Ronaldo jersey on. I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I don't really care. I like them both. I actually just like watching exciting soccer. I really do.
Boring
And so-
soccer is worse than bad CGI. I'm telling
Yes. Or well, but you know what? There's something fun about boring soccer though too. Like actually the most fun. Have you?
you. World Cup was horrible. They had a lot of boring soccer going on.
They did. What you need? Did you watch Welcome to Wrexham
No.
on I think it's on Hulu. It's great. Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds bought a soccer team in Wrexham.
Yeah. Oh my God.
in Wales.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Dude.
And watching them, I actually bought the subscription and watched them play.
I'll bet you Ryan Reynolds pissed himself when they got in.
Yeah. They love, oh my God.
They
they're
love
so
the
fun to
sport.
watch.
They're passionate about what they got.
Yep. And those guys, the players are so passionate. And I actually said, I watched the league. I bought the league pass or whatever. It was like 100 pounds. So it was like $125 or something like that. But
For the year?
It was good. Yeah. For a year.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
for the
If
whole-
you're a
'cause, I
fan,
mean,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, in English football is like a 9-month season. It's like baseball in the States.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. And then they have all of the different trophy cups and everything they play for. It's really good. It's entertaining because
And you probably get a discount on World Cup stuff too.
I don't know about all that.
Are they in that?
Maybe. I didn't check. But I know that because they're lower league, right? So they're kind of semi-pro players.
Yeah.
And some of those guys are like, it's like watching the Enforcers in hockey. It's like watching the 90s Red Wings just pound people. It's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm kind of curious. I watched that Messi game where they played in Spain or played in Mexico for the Interagency Cup or whatever with his first appearance. And I don't know.
The guy's old though, man. He needs. I mean, he's what, 39?
Yeah, he's younger than I am.
But he's old as far as a sporting person goes. He's old.
Well, and he just kind of, I feel bad because he just kind of lumbers around midfield, and then he scores a.
And then
a
he's
PK.
not. Yeah.
And then he's scoring a PK. So it's kind of, it's whatever. But yeah, he's got those sprints in him yet. But I wonder how much they paid him because David Beckham owns that team. I'm curious how much they paid him.
Well, he's in Miami, and it's an international team.
Yeah.
That's based in Miami. So it's
right. Right. Because they're an MLS team, but do they play in any of the European Cups?
I have no idea.
Huh. I'd be curious to look. But
so the last sporting event that's happening this weekend is Nate Diaz and Jake Paul at American Airlines Center. They're playing. So they're fighting.
Oh.
So I think the big money maker this weekend is the Jake Paul and Nate Diaz fight. As expensive as the FC Dallas and Miami soccer tournament is, I think this is where the money is. So UFC superstar Nate Diaz is finally back and will lock horns with YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul. The August 5th bout will take place inside of American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Jake has called out Diaz on numerous occasions. However, the fight never materialized. Fortunately for the fans, they will finally get to see Diaz throw down against Paul in an 8-round fight. The boxing match will be contested at a catch weight 185 pounds, and they will be using 10-ounce gloves. This is cool. I'm really glad to see Nate Diaz coming back. He is a boxer. Mm-hmm. Jake Paul's just a fucking meathead who boxes. I think Nate Diaz he's a technical boxer. If you ever watched him in the UFC, and I was introduced to Nate Diaz in the UFC. He boxes. He'll hit you with pillow hands, and it's not hard. These aren't hard punches, but he'll hit you 150 fucking times,
right? And
just wear your ass out. He's very technical, and then once he gets you on the ground, you're fucking through. Jake Paul's just a fucking meathead. I don't have a lot of respect for Jake Paul. He's just a big meathead that goes in there, and he's not that good technically,
right?
But I really hope Nate Diaz wins.
Is that going to be boxing or is that going to be UFC?
It's boxing. It's boxing.
Okay.
It is boxing. What's really cool about this is Jake Paul is doing all kinds of social media promotion. Nate Diaz is not. He's not doing shit. He's just like, I'm just going to box. I'm just going to show up to the fight. And, of course, everyone talks shit. And I think when they did the weigh-ins either today or yesterday, they got in a fight. I mean, so there's a lot of hype to this. It's a big show. It's nothing but a show. But I really hope. I mean, Jake Paul lost his last fight.
Yeah.
So he's like 6-1. Nate Diaz has never boxed professionally before, and so he's 0-0. So we'll see.
Well, Paul's the favorite, though.
Is he?
Yeah.
I see. When I pull up the stats, it says like Nate Diaz plus something and Jake Paul minus something or the opposite or whatever. I have no idea what that means. That's how dumb I am with sports betting. I just don't know.
Right, I don't even know. I know. Okay, so Paul is a negative 440 favorite, risk 440 to return 100, while Diaz is priced at plus 340 in the latest Paul versus Diaz odds. So apparently, if you bet 100 and Diaz wins, you get 340 back, and if you bet 440 on Paul and he wins, you only get $100 extra back. You get 540 back.
Okay, so Jake Paul's the favorite. Because the thing is, it's one of those things that's like the intelligence community. They got to be right all the fucking time. That's Nate Diaz. Mm-hmm. Jake Paul's the terrorist. He just has to be right once, and he can find his mark. And if he hits Nate Diaz, he's not gonna last. I mean, because they're weight wise, they're matched. It's not like it's a mismatch,
right?
But Paul has got some juice behind his punch.
Yeah, they're both big dudes though. That's like. Makes me feel old looking at those guys, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't that long ago that I wasn't built too terribly different than that. And then I'm not built like that anymore.
I'm a mix of like Nate Diaz and fucking, I don't know, pick a fucking fat dude. That's me.
And like, God. Oh, it's whatever though. I was looking through some old photos and I'm like, fuck, dude, I was fucking cut. Mm-hmm.
And this was like Army, not in the Army that long. I was just like, I look fucking good. And then I look at me now, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I mean, back problems and knee problems don't help. Ankle problems.
Yep.
Shit.
I think that's a lot of mine was getting hurt. And then my knee, I've had a bunch of knee surgeries. My back's all messed up, but I mean, I can still do a lot. I'm not terribly, I'm kind of big into mountain biking. I'm less so now that I can't breathe, but it's whatever. But yeah, I mean, I look at those pictures of me like when I was in my mid-20s, and yeah, unfortunately my wife saw him and she's like, what happened to that guy? I'm like, he's not here no more. He's gone.
That's my little brother. He ain't coming back. Well, do you know what we've accomplished here?
What's that?
We accomplished going through the intro of the show and just the bullshit conversations just to intro the show. We haven't gotten to one story.
Well, we got to the sporting events.
We did, but I mean, my actual first story is talking about misbehaving passengers. That all the other stuff was like build up to the misbehaving passengers.
Let's do misbehaving passengers.
My bladder says that it's time for a break. Is that cool?
Oh, okay. That's perfectly fine by me.
I know you and TC kind of like, you just go.
No,
and then sometimes you take a break, sometimes you don't.
You're right. Sometimes we don't. It depends on my bladder too. If I'm honest. Or if we have a guest. If we have a guest, I'm a lot more on it.
So during this break, we're going to have Roses Unread and Another Round. Both have given us permission to use their music. So Facebook, don't pull that bullshit by muting our stuff.
Don't do it, Facebook.
Don't do it.
Gotcha.
I'll kick your. What is Zuckerberg now? Is he a blue belt in jiu-jitsu?
Probably.
How much you pay for that?
$20.
All right. We're going to take a break really quick, and we're going to be back. I got to redo my slides. Oh, my gosh. I'm so out of order. This is awesome. Okay. We're going to take a break. We're going to be back in just a couple minutes. Shots. Bye.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Kaz, and this is Friday Night Freedom, and this is the second half of the show here on the fourth day of August 2023. Glad you hung out with us through the break. I appreciate it. I'm joined here by Radar, who is the host of The Smoke Pit that is aired on WTF Nation Radio on Wednesday night. What's going on, Radar?
Not much, buddy. Glad to be here. Second hour.
It's the second hour. We made it.
Yep.
So I was looking at my invoice for my oil change, and the reason why it was so expensive was because I was charged a flat fee. It was like $58 for the oil change, but then they charged me $9 per quart of oil. So I don't know if that was a mistake on their part or if that was the way that things are. but I don't like the way that things are.
$9 a quart.
For synthetic blend.
Yeah, it wasn't even full synthetic.
No. Dicks.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to go back there. That sucks too.
The thing is, I will go back there. I'll buy my next car from them just because I like their sales staff. Their sales staff is really good.
Right.
They just want my money, and they can probably have my money.
You know what? That's all of them, though. Here's my thing with it. I know they're trying to fuck me when I go in there. I know they're trying to get every.
But you know they
penny.
love you when they fuck you less.
Yes, exactly. Just make it seem like you're on my side, just a little bit.
Like, add 2 more oil changes and free fucking floor mats, and I'll be great.
Yup. We got those. Subaru gave us those. We got those from Subaru. And then we got what else did we get?
Did you get the good ones though?
Yeah, they're like the good rubber ones
Yeah,
that
yeah,
click in. Yeah, you need those up here, you know, like you gotta have those. And then what else did they give us? The app normally costs $10 or whatever, or some shit a month. They gave us like 2 years, 5 years. They gave us 5 years of the app for free.
Yeah, I've got like it's Ford Pass, but it's like it's Ford Pass. It works forever. It doesn't cost anything.
Right. The Subaru app you got to pay for. You got to pay for part of it. Like if you wanted to do, it will do the
What I want it to do is roll up and roll down the windows.
Man, mine doesn't do that. I wish it did that. That'd be cool.
It'll roll up the windows, but not down the windows.
See, if the pay one, that will lock and unlock the doors. It will turn your AC on. You can control your climates, have presets, all that stuff. Turn your seat heaters on and off. But if you get the free one, all it does is remote start. That's all it does.
But mine remote starts and it brings the cabin temperature to like 70 degrees. So if it's cold, it'll heat it up to 70 degrees. If it's hot, it'll cool it down to 70 degrees.
Right. Mine, you can set like presets on it. So if you want it to be 68 or 85 or whatever, or you can hit full heat or full cool.
That's awesome.
It's pretty neat. I'm a fan, but I wouldn't pay for it, I don't think. But they give us like 5 years of it free. I'm sure it costs them like nothing to do it.
No, it's just ones and zeros, man. And ones and zeros and then bandwidth for people to use it. Is all it costs.
I'm pretty sure he won't have. I love the car, but in 5 years, one of two things is going to happen: we'll have it traded in, or we'll give it to one of our kids. It's kind of what happens to our old cars. We just give them to our kids now, and then they say they're going to give us money for them, and then they never do. So,
as long as you expect that, then I think you're fine.
Yep.
So we're getting down to the end of summer vacation is happening. So people are going to be traveling back to their homes. A lot of, some folks go and they like have a summer home or they go on vacations and then now they're coming back because schools, we got like 26 school districts that are starting school Monday or Tuesday. Wow. And then the rest of the Metroplex starts the following week or at the end of this week. So, but I haven't seen a lot of buses. A lot of times, the bus drivers will do the trainees will be doing their routes as a practice. And then a week before school hits, they actually turn on the school zone flashers and stuff.
Right.
Just so people, like other people, have just like, this is a school zone. I remember this now. I know to slow down here. That hasn't happened, which is kind of weird.
I can't believe you guys are starting this early. It feels like it's too early.
I feel it should be after Labor Day is when they should start school.
Our kids start the the kids start the 24th.
Which is screwed up because that's right before a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
Show up, get your locker, and then leave for 4 days and then come back.
Basically.
And then you have to remember your combination.
My kids don't even do that. They don't even use their lockers. The older kids have cars, so they stash all their shit in their cars.
Okay.
And my middle schoolers just have giant backpacks full of stuff. I don't get it. I'm like, you have a locker right here.
And they have
the middle school is shaped like an E, but backwards. And like they have like 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, all have their own hallway.
So it's shaped like a 3 then.
Yes. but not curvy. It's just
Like
straight.
it's an E, but backwards. I was trying to
It's an
figure
E, but
that out.
backwards. A capital E. So it has three hallways, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Gotcha.
And so like a 6th grader will just stay in that 6th grade, except for like gym or music or whatever. But for the most part, they spend, and that's where their lockers are at. Each grade, and they have their own bathroom, and they have their own lockers, and they have all of the things that they need to be 6th graders or 8th graders or whatever. And they're just like, no, we don't. It's too far. We don't like our lockers. I'm like, I think they just can't remember their combinations.
Lockers are so. That's where you meet the girls.
Right. But they have like Molly packs full of all of their shit.
It was like 80,000 pounds worth of luggage.
I know. Actually, you know what? The Capital 3.
Capital
That's right.
3.
It's a Capital 3. But I can't believe more of their books aren't online yet. My high schoolers, they have like a couple 3 notebooks and a laptop. Everything else is like all of their books are electronic. Most of them. So, yeah.
Oh, Control F, find phrase. You can do anything.
Yep.
That's easy. These damn kids. We had
little whippersnappers.
We had analog books back in our day.
Mm-hmm.
You actually had to read the table of contents.
Holly said she gets it. You know what? I'd rather have all my stuff with me too, but not at the expense of my back anymore. I feel like 7th graders shouldn't have full Molly packs running around the school just to carry all their books.
And then they play in the band and they carry the bass drum or something. That's just more weight and
Yes. My wife's oldest is like super band. He can play any instrument in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The next one thought he cannot. And so we have a whole basement full of instruments. He tried playing in the band. And then the youngest one is just starting as a 6th grader, so they can start band. He wants to play the trumpet, which I'm perfectly fine with because it's small. We're not lugging around a sousaphone or some shit.
My youngest plays the trumpet.
Yeah.
Or played the trumpet in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, my stepson Mac, he's actually like
Holly says we weren't phased by the weight at that age.
Oh, that's true, we weren't. But I don't know how, because he has 100 pounds worth of books and he only weighs like 80 pounds. Like, I don't know how that works.
As long as you have that waist thing on, you're good.
But yeah, he does the he's gonna be a music teacher. So he can literally play any instrument, from piano to trombone, all of anything in between. It's great. My musical talents go, yep, exactly. As far as being able to play the radio, that's it. I can plug my phone into my aux cord and hit random.
Dude,
good.
I'm a decent musician and I pick up very easily. I used to play trumpet, or it was the cornet. The cornet when I was in grade school and high school. I never read the music. I learned the music because of the way that it was played. I can't read music. I played the music because I knew how to play the music. I do the same thing with guitar. I can't read a fucking note of music. I play the drums the exact same way. Can't read a note of music. I just learn the music.
Right. I can carry the stuff for the kids.
You can carry the stuff for the kids. And
my wife can play bass. My father-in-law is a big musician. He was in a band for a lot of years. He's really talented, and so that grew up with the kids, you know. So my sister-in-law plays guitar. My brother-in-law, he played bass. My wife plays bass and guitar. She can play both. My stepdaughter's really sounds just like Stevie Nicks when she sings. It's fantastic. She's a great voice and can play guitar really well. And Mac actually can play anything. And he's one of those kids, like, he learned how to play piano on his own in like 3 weeks when he was like 6. I'm just like, I can carry it to the car for him. I can carry it to the van. When they go play music, I put it in the van. That's all I can do. So deaf, dumb, and blind kid. Yep.
So you've flown recently. Have you ever experienced like passengers that were just dickheads? Like
Yes.
they were extra? Really? I travel a lot. I fly a lot. Yeah. And I've never encountered any passenger who's like, "Yeah, do you know who I am?" Or, "This motherfucker over here, he's too fat," and, you know, I've never experienced that. Maybe I'm just lucky.
Really?
It sounds like I'm just lucky.
I think you're lucky. We had one of those on a flight to Hawaii. It's like 19 hours with this diva. That was horrible.
Was she an influencer?
No, but she was sure mean to everybody. I think she was like middle management at some company, and so she thought she was special.
I'm a manager, and you need to give me extra ice.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So.
Oh. This isn't the one that I wanted. Is this the one that I wanted? This is the one that I wanted. In a recent report from the International Air Transport Association suggests that unruly passengers on airplanes are on the rise, increasing by 47% globally in 2022 over 2021. In the United States alone, 250 unruly passenger cases have been referred to the FBI for possible prosecution. Former FBI Special Agent Jonathan Gillum, who is also an air marshal, told Fox News that a part of the reason for the increase can be attributed to the fact that even the biggest airlines are now no-frills airlines. Quote, the care for patrons is no longer there. A lot of that occurred because they got fed up with the people during COVID. Mm-hmm. And the other problems is a lot of people left during COVID that were good flight attendants. They had to hire someone to fill in for them, and they weren't as talented or as good or as dedicated. They just don't give a fuck. And that's a quote. Just don't give a fuck about anybody. So on a flight from Chiang Mai International Airport, and these are examples of passenger unruliness. On a flight from Chiang Mai International Airport in Thailand to Bangkok, a passenger became absolutely belligerent because he forgot his bag at the terminal. The flight returned to its point of departure. He raised such a ruckus, the pilot's like, fuck it, we're going back. A Frontier Airlines flight from Philadelphia to Las Vegas was diverted to Denver International Airport on July 11th after a fight erupted between two female passengers. Two girls on the flight just decided to duke it out.
These people.
A Southwest Airlines flight headed to Houston from New Orleans was held at its terminal while authorities moved an alleged drunk woman who refused to leave the plane when asked. This is my favorite. The ending is my favorite. The ending is absolutely my favorite. The woman who claimed to be pregnant allegedly attacked a Spirit Airlines employee at a Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta airport in April. Her name was Kay Maria Scott, 29 years old. She was charged with disorderly conduct for her involvement of the flight after airline employees prevented her from boarding. Police said that the woman told everybody that she was, quote, I'm from West Philly and I'm going to beat all y'all's ass. What is it with announcing where you're from and I'm going to kick your ass? So I think that there's a comedian out there. I don't want to steal anyone's material, but I think that I've seen a clip of a comedian saying, "What is it with people that go, I'm from West fucking Mobile, Alabama, and I'm going to kick your ass." Just whatever zip code they're from.
Mm-hmm. 605 represent.
And I'm thinking, West Philadelphia, is this the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Mm-hmm. Like always said, it's Will Smith style. That's right. Gonna slap him like he slapped Chris Rock. Just.
And what makes that funny is that I had chosen this story to read a few days ago. Today, I saw it was a video. You've seen the videos of the people waking up from anesthesia.
Yeah.
And they just say this dumbest shit. This girl, I think she had her tonsils removed. She was young. She was probably like a senior in high school. And Mom was there and knowing exactly what was going on. Tell me a story. Tell me a story. And the girl goes, and she actually sang the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song. This is a story about how, I can't even do it. And I'm relatively sober.
I love that shit. I love those videos. I wish there was more of those videos. There's 2 videos I searched for on the internet, and that is the Russians getting bombed by Ukrainians.
Oh, dude, those are so good.
Those are so fun. And the anesthesia videos. Those are funny to me.
They're good. It's like, why am I here? Oh, they had to amputate their leg. It's like, oh, I am not going to be able to walk.
Mm-hmm. My feet are still over there.
They took your feet off and they're in the closet. Oh, okay. As long as they remember to give me them back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's some funny ones of people that like record shit and then put it on the radio. Like there was one like the aliens were landing or some shit. Like they set up this girl. She got her wisdom teeth out or something like that. Oh
Jesus! Oh my gosh! In the car. This is an in the car video. Yes.
Yep. There's been a couple of them. There was one where they did like some sort of emergency. I remember one was like aliens landing, and people have kind of kept doing this. It feels like it's like those birth announcements or whatever, the gender reveals. It's like that, but with anesthesia. But the anesthesia ones are funny. So there's that.
They're bad, and I get nervous. I get nervous because at some point, as an adult of my age, I'm going to have to go through some kind of surgery at some point. And I don't want to be that guy. When I was young, I got shot when I was younger. And my mom and dad said, you don't get any Christmas presents this year because we're going to pay for your surgery. And that surgery was getting the bullets removed from my hand. But I remember going into that, they put my arm in a thing, and then they cinched it down. They said, okay, you're going to feel a warm sensation, which was the morphine, and it burned like a motherfucker for about 0.5 seconds. And then I was out. I remember waking up in the recovery room, however long later, but I was singing a Deep Purple song. And they were telling me to shut up. Had we had smartphones at that time, I'm sure someone would have videotaped me.
Well, so Wednesday, the reason I missed my show is I had to have some scopes done at the VA. Mm-hmm. And they did a general on me, right? And so I remember laying in the thing, and I'm laying on my side, and the gal's like taking my pulse or whatever, and they're doing my blood pressure, and I hear the guy say 109, and I'm administrating whatever, and then I was out. And then an hour later, I wake up in the recovery room.
You're like, count back from 100. You're like,
He didn't even give me
done.
that. He didn't even give me that. He wouldn't have had a chance to. And like I heard that, and I don't do drugs. I'm drugless. And this dude was just like, nope, bye, see ya. And the girl that was like cinching up my blood pressure cuff, whatever. She just kind of looks down on me, and then she did this.
That's so perfect, man.
But then I woke up and I didn't even I've had stuff done like knee surgery.
We're gonna stick stuff in holes that you had no idea. Bye.
Yep, you just
bye.
Sleep through it. Bye. See ya, she says. But so
there's
like I've
nothing
had like
you
knee
can
surgery,
do.
whatever, like the normal doctor, and they like let you in the recovery room or whatever, and they kind of like kind of wake you up all gentle and shit. Not at the Fort Meade VA. That bitch. I woke up. And then she goes, oh, hey, Sergeant, da-da-da-da-da-da. Can I get you anything? Do you want like a glass of water or some ice chips? I'm like, that would be fantastic. She goes and gets me a glass of water, and she sets it on the little thing next to me, and I sit up to go get it. Another gal comes in, starts ripping my IVs and stuff out, and she's like, all right, hold your gown. You're done. I'm like, well, can I have my water? She just like, nope, I see. She just kicked me out of that bitch. Takes me back to the little waiting room my wife's at, and she drove me home.
I was in the hospital at Hood, and I was unconscious for a couple of days. And as soon as I came around, I'm looking at this room, and my dad's there, my first sergeant's there, my squad leader's there, my squad is there, and then a couple of other people. And I'm just like, this is either a dream or I fucked up. I'm like, why is my dad and my first sergeant just fucking standing right next to each other? Mm-hmm. So they woke up, or I ended up waking up, and this is actually really happening. And I'm like, okay, I've got to go to the bathroom. So I get out of the bed, and they're telling me to lay down. I'm like, no, I got to go to the bathroom. So I get up and I start to walk to the bathroom. I'm like, dunk! I still had a catheter in.
Yep.
And that wasn't happening. So I laid back down. Everyone else vacated the room. The nurse came in, took the catheter out, which was unfucking real.
Yep.
And then I went to the bathroom, and then it's like, we cut your pants off of you, so you don't have any pants. Sorry. You can have this. So I left in the hospital gown.
Yeah, like scrub bottoms, maybe.
They doubled up the hospital gown so it covered the front and the back.
Wow. Why didn't any of your buddies or like your dad or anybody bring you some like sweatpants? But like, here you go.
I don't know. I don't know.
They're just happy you woke up, probably, huh? Oh shit! Yeah, they did. I don't know. It's just so weird the difference between like going to the VA or an army doc and like the actual doctor. Like going to like here we call it the surgery center or whatever, and that's where they do all your surgery. They're so nice. They bring you like coffee and like I had a knee surgery.
We're gonna be invasive as fuck, so we're gonna treat you kind of good, and we're gonna overcharge you, but your insurance is supposed to pick it up. So we're good.
They brought me like scrambled eggs and bacon and shit. And like, they're all nice. Like, oh yeah, hey, you want some toast with that? They're all cool. And then like, yeah, the boss, you don't even get your water. You don't even get a glass of water. Get out of here. We don't want you no more.
But on the plus side, you don't have to wear a fucking face mask when you go into the VA anymore.
Yeah, that's super cool.
I had a VA a doc appointment. Actually, I got a doc appointment this coming week, but you got to do the blood work like a week ahead. But man, Vampira, you can't even fucking see. Look at that shit. Look at it. See that big purple mark there? Oh, dude, I look like an IV drug user.
Yep.
She fucking murdered me. It didn't hurt.
Yeah.
But then after I took the bandage off, I'm like, oh my God, I could have wear long sleeves for a week.
Mine, they did it in my hand. You can't even tell.
When they take blood, really?
No, for the IV for my surgery.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they're great. That girl was great.
That was blood. That's like a blood sample or whatever.
That's just where they do the little thing with the tubes, and they just did that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Looking.
Huh. Yeah, they did that on Monday, and I have a little brown spot there from it, I guess. But yeah.
This is like the most beautiful purple I've ever seen.
Yeah. It's just kind of back to brown. But yeah, those needles are fucking big.
I really like the way that they do the blood now. It's like the needle with a tube, and then it's like the tube that they collect the blood is like that far away from the needle. It's not like they stick the needle and then the tube is right there.
They don't do that here. They still do like this. Got like a little tube, but it's right there. They just pop it right on there. You can like watch it spurt up in there.
Yeah. They do that here, but there's a tube between the needle and the tube, which is probably 2 feet long. There's no pressure. There's no back pressure when they change tubes. Because they take like 48 tubes and shit.
Right. Holly said she never remembers waking up. I don't know if I actually woke up in that. That's the first thing I remember.
The first thing that I remembered when I woke up was I was singing Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Yeah. I was singing good music.
Captain Wayne says, what the fuck is sleep? Absolutely. That's part of the reason I'm going through all this shit. I only get like 2-3 hours a night, dude. I'm over that.
My sleep sucks.
Over not sleeping.
I can fall asleep anywhere, anytime. Staying asleep for the entire night is impossible. It hasn't happened in fucking forever. I can't remember the last time I went to bed at 8 and woke up at fucking 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning.
I used to do that shit. So I used to go like 3-4 weeks of getting like 2-3 hours of sleep. And then my body's like, nah. And then I would come home from work at like 4 and I would sleep till my alarm went off the next morning. Yeah. But that was like one night a month. And the other nights I get like 2 hours worth of sleep. And it was never go to bed at like 5, wake up at 7. It was never that. I'd go to bed at 2 and I'd get 15-20 minutes and wake up. Get 15-20 minutes and wake up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go to bed I usually go to bed at about 8:30, 9 o'clock and get up at 4. But in between 8:30 or 9 o'clock and then 4 o'clock in the morning, it's, I'll sleep for an hour and a half. Then I'll be up for another hour. And then I'll sleep for 20 minutes.
Right. And
it's not like it may or may not be a sleep apnea thing where I shock myself asleep or shock myself awake, I have no idea.
Do you have the machine? Did you
No.
get the?
No, I don't have. I've never been tested.
Try it. Try it.
I think if I could ask for a sleep study, it would happen.
Yeah,
I would have to.
If you're service connected, they'll give you one.
I'm service connected. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll give you one.
Not for apnea, but.
Well, no, I don't think anybody's actually service connected for apnea.
No, it's like
three people.
I can get paid for that. Oh shit, yeah.
Fuck. But I mean, if you are over, what's it, 50%? They give you your medical care. Is it 50%, 30%?
I have no idea. I'm
Basically,
20.
if you
I'm
have any kind of
20%.
service connection.
I've always been 20%.
Oh,
I didn't know that I could claim disability until WTF Nation Radio came along.
Right. That's what we were talking about. We talk about that a lot in the Smoke Pit. About like
that's why I love that. That's why I love that fucking show so much.
Yeah, but how many people don't know that they just get out and they don't even know?
I got out. I started my disability process. I never heard shit out from it. I'm like, I guess I'm not eligible, and I got out in '96, and it wasn't until fucking 2000 and goddamn 13 or 14 when we started this radio station. When I was just a consumer of this content, that I realized that I had the opportunity to actually apply for disability.
Right.
So yeah, it was a long fucking time.
Yep. Well, and now it's even now, like my kid's in, right? He's active duty over in Germany, and they don't. He said something about he
should have all the knowledge now.
He should, and I'm going to make sure of it. But he did something. He did something. I don't know, hurt his wrist and his elbow. I don't know if he fell off a truck or fell over. He did something. And he was in like a arm band thing for a while, and he was in a way.
Save
and I'm
that
like,
paperwork.
Keep all of that. Make copies of your records and keep that. When I got out, because I got out of the Marine Corps in 2003, right? And then when I went back in the Army I joined the Army in 06, they got my records from the Marine Corps, got my records. The only thing in my medical record was my dental x-rays and like my separation physical. That was it.
Oh God.
So, I mean,
there was so much in between here and there.
Yep. I was a crew chief on 46s.
Right.
Like I had your flight physicals and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. All of it was gone. Everything was gone. And so, like, I tell everybody, like, make sure if you have any sort of event that you keep track of it and get as many of the records as you can. Because don't count on the Army keeping it. But yeah, but yeah, if you get a test for even if it doesn't give you anything, like you don't get any money out of it, like that sleep app machine's amazing.
But the thing is if you get rated at 0 and it gets worse, it can always go higher. If you never get assessed, it's a nothing. You don't exist.
Yep. Exactly. I have hypertension. We were talking about that before the show. I was rated at 0% when I got out in 14 for hypertension. Well, now that it's considerably worse, I don't have to fight to try to get service. I'm going to try to get it. Even if you just get all that stuff, so it's 0%. They lopped my toes off. I'm missing 2 toes. 0% for that. That's crazy. Like, I can't believe some of the stuff I was looking at. Like,
toes are worth $10,000 a piece at least, right?
Toes are worth dick all to the VA. That's what they're worth. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, but at least at 0%, if you ever have any problems with them, boom, you get something. You know,
is it a pinky toe?
Yeah, they're both pinky toes.
Yeah, they're
not worth nothing. Yeah, but hearing loss or tinnitus.
Guess what? You don't hit the. Guess what? You don't get to hit on the fucking night table when you're going to the bathroom and the lights are off. Your pinky toe.
My pinky toes. I don't bang them bitches.
You ought to pay the VA for not having to have that fucking issue.
And I get 80% off. I get 20% off pedicures. It's great.
Like, oh, sir, you want me to trim cuticle? Oh my gosh, we give you half off. Mm-hmm. So you used to be on Pop Culture Warrior with CQ.
I did.
What do you have any feelings on the SAG AFTRA strike?
The strike. I do. and I have some conflicting issues on it. Like, I totally think there should be striking. I think that there should be artificial intelligence, I think, is creeping into a lot of that, and I understand that. And then you listen to some of these people, like, and how much they don't get in the royalties anymore. Like, the royalty structure was set up when there was still television. Everything was television and cable. Well, now with like Netflix series and whatnot, some of those people are like starring in shows,
streaming,
and only making like
yeah,
only making like $20 off a Netflix show or some shit. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. But like, where do you draw the line on that kind of? And it's like, I don't know. Like, there's such a disparity in that between like what someone like The Rock or Ryan Reynolds or those big name actors, how much they make for production, vice the writers and the grips and the fluffers and whoever else, they're not making any money, you know. So I get that. I mean, I do think that there needs to be some fixing on that, but
I've got conflicting views only because I am, having been a union member and then worked through that, and then it's the layoff, rehire, layoff, rehire, layoff, rehire. I am an anti-union person, so my immediate thing is like, fuck, these guys are striking, fuck them. It's just they just want to get paid more for doing the same fucking thing, right? And nothing's going to change. The quality's not going to improve. This is different as far as the SAG-AFTRA thing goes. So on July 14th, 2023, the American Actors Union, SAG-AFTRA, went on strike over an ongoing labor dispute with the Alliance of Motion, Picture, and Television Producers. It has coincided with the Writers Guild of America strike in a series of broader Hollywood labor disputes. And this is what you're seeing on social media, mostly on social media. I don't really watch the news. I don't know what's being broadcast on the news. This strike marks the first time that the actors have initiated a labor dispute in the United States since 1980. It's been a long time. This actor strike is the first time that the actors and the writers have walked out simultaneously since 1960, which is before I was born. The union used to be called the Screen Actors Guild until a merger happened in 2012, allowing the union to represent not only actors but also journalists, talk show hosts, and other broadcast workers. Over the last decade, with the rise of streaming, writers and actors have been frustrated over studio policy regarding residuals from streaming services. The decline of network television has led to a stronger reliance on other residuals. The film companies are making tons of profit, and the SAG-AFTRA members want their fair cut. The members also want a compensation if the movie companies use their likeness. So yeah, I am supporting the SAG-AFTRA strike just because I think if people do the work, and this was my first thing was, okay, you are an actor, you are a writer, you're doing your thing. You get paid for the work that you've performed. I think that is sufficient. You do a job, you get paid for that job, that's great. The writer gets paid for writing this part, they get paid for that, so that's great. But I really, until I read into it, I had no idea of how residuals work. I really don't think that I really understand how residuals work. But I understand more. These folks, I mean, and when they're showing like, here's a check for fucking 38 cents, here's a check for $8, that is what they get for stuff that gets picked up by Netflix, and they don't pay these actors what they're worth. Right.
Where if that residual would have been from cable, if we didn't have
cable or broadcast television.
Yep.
Or theaters.
Hundreds of dollars, if not more, a month for their appearance on Roseanne or some shit. But it's such a weird deal, and I wonder. I don't know if they're going to come to they have to come to some kind of conclusion on it. They have to because they're all people are going. But you know, I remember when I first started, I went to basically streaming only a while ago, before a lot of people did. And I canceled cable probably, I think around 13.
That's like a pay raise. Cable is fucking horrendously expensive.
But now it's to the point like if you have Peacock and HBO and Amazon Prime and Netflix, and actually we dropped Hulu because they didn't really have anything that I wanted anymore. We dropped a couple of Paramount Plus because they didn't really have anything we wanted anymore. And so
you don't do Yellowstone, man?
We did, and then it just got like
stupid.
I like the sequel ones, like the 1883 was good and the 1923 was good, but Yellowstone itself is kind of. You know what? This is what, and you got family in Montana, so you can kind of relate to this. We have the same problem. Where we do have Californians that come here, and the last thing
you're in Texas too.
Yeah, more of them fucking coming here. Go the fuck away. I don't want them to come here. Like they have a whole show about. Fucking don't move here is basically the premise of the show is don't fucking move to Montana. Don't move to the mountains. We don't want you. And all that's done is people move here. Yeah. Like, no. Fucking
the entire state of Montana used to be a state that had fewer than 1 million people. And now there's well more than that.
Yeah.
And the thing, what's funny is I've been trying to go to Montana to visit my kids. I usually do that maybe once or twice a year. I can't find a fucking rent-a-car for under $250 a day.
Yeah.
Hotel rooms are in the 400s.
Yep.
Flights, I don't care about the flights. Flights are the flights. But actually living there or like being there for a week or something to hang out with my kids, dude, $250 a day for a car, for a shit car, not a 4-wheel drive, just a something with gas in it to get me around.
A Chevy Aveo or some shit or whatever.
My youngest daughter laughed at me the last time I was there. It was really expensive, so I got this Econo box. And my youngest daughter laughed at me. She's like, "That's the car they gave you?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is." Like I felt like not a man.
Right. Well, and it's so ridiculous, all of it. And the influx of it has been something, but I think part of it too is just that.
But they live there and their rent is that high. A fucking 1-bedroom apartment is $1,500 a month.
Yep.
God,
and here's the same.
Damn it.
And our in my town in particular, they're like trying to make this the next Boulder. That's like what they say. We want to make this the next Boulder. And I'm like, we don't want that. I don't want that. Like, I don't want to have, God, and it's already to that point.
It's not about making money. It's about fucking living.
Right.
This is where I want to live, and it's nice and it's pretty, and I like it.
And I want my kids to have a chance to grow up here.
Yeah.
I want my grandkids to have a chance. And that's kind of like we've been just like
look at Vail. Look at Vail, and then see what Vail has become, and Boulder has become. That's what they want. That pretty part of the Rockies. That's what they want to do. No, I cut you off. I'm so sorry.
You're fine. No, you're right. Because it's ridiculous. And then the other part of it is they want to build all these giant homes and all these, they don't put in the infrastructure for it. They don't put in the roads for it. They don't put in the sewer for it. They don't put in the
Bozeman is so bad with that.
Yep. And
there's no parking. There's no parking. I got to park, and then it's like I almost have to like park way the fuck away, take an Uber from where I parked my car to where I need to be, and that's and that's it.
Yeah.
It's
and then the land's so expensive they don't put in hotels or apartments. They put in $800,000 million homes. It's like like you said, all these people want to visit their grandpa or visit whatever, but you can't rent a hotel anymore because there's only so many rooms, and no one's building more hotels. Nobody's building more infrastructure like that. So rooms are,
it would be economically more advantageous for me to fly into Billings and drive from Billings to Bozeman. Rather than about 4 hours.
4, yeah.
And then other than to stay in Billings or Belgrade or Three Forks or anywhere up there, there's not a whole lot of stuff in Bozeman because there's nothing there. It used to be just Bozeman and then the college.
Yep.
But now it's like everyone wants to go there. So it doesn't help that there was a humongous flood last year over in in the Gallatin Valley, and that in Livingston, in that Yellowstone area, like drove everyone out. Their houses were actually physically washed away because they lived so close to the river. And now they're in Bozeman. So everything is gone in Bozeman. So if you want to rent anything, an Airbnb for a fucking shit house, like a room with bunk beds in it, you're going to be paying, $100 a night.
I think a lot of that's going to fucking fall apart too.
Oh, it will.
A lot of that's going to fall apart. So the town I used to live in is called Lead. It's a little old mining town, right? And my parents live in the house that I used to live in there. And we're watching these houses that for 10 years, 5 years ago were for sale before COVID, were $30,000, $40,000 homes. Like, cause I don't know if you about old mining towns, no one takes care of their shit because they might come in anytime and say, this is our place. Now get the fuck out of here. So the houses
eminent domain.
Yep. A lot of those places are falling the fuck apart, and these people were buying them for 40 grand and either trying to flip them for 200.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to Airbnb them. Well, we're just looking. My mom and I were just kind of bored. We're flipping through them, and they're wanting like fucking $800 for a weekend, $400 a night, $2 minimum stay for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, falling apart fucking house, and there's no parking. And they're wanting this kind of. I'm like, I can go to fucking Deadwood and get a room for $50 a night at the casino, and not have a cleaning fee, not having a resort fee, not having
fucking cleaning fee is ridiculous, isn't it?
Yes. And I remember when those first started happening, we actually rented a few. When we went to Yellowstone, we rented one because we could have all the family together in one room or in one house, and there was benefits to it, and it was cheaper than a hotel. Well, now it's not. Now it's twice the price. So something's got to give.
It might be cheaper to like rent an RV.
Yes.
Pay for the fucking gas and do the drive.
You can fly to Rapid City. You can grab my pickup and my camper and just take that up there. It's like, it's like 6 hours
last year, you're like, hey man, come on up for Sturgis.
Fucking told you guys.
Yeah, you did.
Here from the rally. Yep.
So I looked at flights. I'm like, it's kind of spendy.
Well, it's not bad. It wasn't bad then. It's bad
now.
No,
it's bad now, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't even know what a flight is now, but I'm gonna look. I have to look. I'm curious.
I've got like this a bottomless pit of airline miles, so I don't care about flights. What I care about is the in and around stuff, the lodging, or the rent-a-cars or something like that. And even if you would say, no, I'll pick you up and I'll take you there, I'm like, nah. I would like the independence of having my own vehicle just to be responsible for my own shit.
So right now, this week, if you left tomorrow,
oh God, yeah, because we're
900.
This is this is the week prior to Sturgis.
Sturgis starts on Monday.
Yep.
Officially starts Monday. But a lot of it basically starts this weekend. If you flew in tomorrow and left Saturday the 12th from $980, if you fly in on say the 15th and leave on like the 20th, that's from $447. It's almost twice. It's over twice the price to fly in and out during the rally, and that's from Rapid City to DFW. And there's nonstop flights from Rapid to DFW. They do like 4 flights a day, round trip.
That's badass.
Yep.
And
but
Delta,
I mean,
and Delta usually goes from here to Minneapolis, or from here to Salt Lake.
If you come later in the month, if you come in like the 26th to 28th, that's less than $300 a month, or $300 for the flight. It's $295 for the flight.
Spanky says Airbnb is only a good deal if you're staying for more than 3 or 4 days, and then have a large group, and then you can split the cost. She's right.
That place they had in Denver was a nice place, and I don't know how much they paid for that, but that was really close to the concert that they went to and stuff. And I hung out with TZ and Ice there, but Spanky was gone. I didn't get to see her. But
she doesn't like you though.
She was mad. She was mad at me.
I know.
but it's whatever. But I had fun there. I had fun at her Airbnb when she wasn't there, so there's that. But they had a really nice place, and that was actually really close to. They walked, I think, to the concert venue. It wasn't far. I mean, we sat on the balcony of their Airbnb, and I could hear the music plain as day. And I'm half deaf.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, couldn't see, but it was whatever. So
well, I think didn't Rihanna do like a listeners only tickets for like $100 or $200 per ticket? You can't see the show, but you can hear the show. It's like you sit behind the stage or some shit like that.
I mean, anything to make us money, I guess. I don't even know. It doesn't surprise me.
What do you say we get out of here, man?
Yeah, it's getting late.
Thank you all for fucking just hanging out, man. Me and Radar just basically shot the shit for 2 hours. I got into 2 of the fucking stories I wanted to talk about. This is great because I've got so much content for the next show.
It's like this is just like the smoke pit, but with stories.
I know. You smoke pitted Friday Night Freedom. Let me remind everybody of the lineup here on Sunday. This is actual King Smith's birthday is today, so you can like sing him happy birthday and stuff. He likes to hear if you want to sing him happy birthday, you can like record it and then send it to him. But he'll be here on Sunday with the sports bar, and Monday is the Monday edition. Pop Culture Warriors here on Tuesday. The Smoke Pit is going to be here on Wednesday. Sergeant's Time on Thursday, and right here, Friday Night Freedom is on Friday. I'm off next week, but I'll be back the following week. So you guys have a great fucking weekend, man. Make great choices and go see a show. And you got any words of advice there?
Nope. Just be safe. Have a good weekend.
Okay. Well, that kind of fucking cuts it short.
I'm boring. Go watch Messi.
Go watch Messi. If you're in Dallas, go watch Messi. If you're down at down by the river, go see Denny Katana. If you're in Cincinnati, go and see Back to Heroes Rumble, the car show down there. Hell yeah. All right, everybody. Take care. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.
I'll see you on Wednesday.
My friend came to the door. She said, well, I was on the phone cooking me and my baby some breakfast. And she said, hey, something wrong. It's popping. I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, no. So the girl come downstairs. She come out her apartment with her baby with no shoes on. I said, oh, girl, it's cold outside. She said, something ain't right. I said, oh, man. She said, oh, man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. This is WTF Nation Radio.